Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Harry Muppet, and we are going to be playing, well, we're going to be casting anyway, the fifth and final game, the ace match game for the semi-final for the HomeStory Cup number 7. Down the bottom left side of the map, it is going to be our red Zerg player Hyun, and down the bottom right side of the map, it is going to be our blue Zerg player Snute. Now these guys have been really going at each other. It's been roaches all over the place. We saw a couple of mutas in there and a couple of hydras and a lot of banelings, but mainly it's just been massive roach armies going against each other. And I'm starting to think that Snute has found a chink in Hyun's armor these past couple of games. Game number 2 he tried it, it didn't work. Game number 4 he tried it and it did work. And that chink is that Hyun tends to go for his third base before he starts getting the Roach Warren. He gets the, he's actually been getting a very fast whatchamacallit. He gets a fast spawning pool, sends out some lings and banelings to harass, and then he goes for his expansion after that, after he puts Snute on the back foot. But Snute usually deals with them without losing too much, without getting too far behind, although last game he did actually have his expansion cancelled, which is not very good for him. But even with that delay there, he still found the chink in Hyun's armor, and that is that Hyun builds the third base before the Roach Warren, and Snute builds the Roach Warren before the third base. And that means that for about 2-3 minutes after the Roach Warren is built for Snute, he can get up a lot more roaches than Hyun can. And we saw that in last game, man. He had about 20-25 roaches versus Hyun's 15 or so. I can't remember. He was about 10 more. And he went out there and he did some awesome stuff with those roaches in that small timing gap that he had and got out the win there. So yes, we will have to see, because if Hyun does the same thing he's always done, he's going to be in trouble. But he's not this time. He is getting a hatchery before pull. And it looks like Snute is getting a pull before hatchery, but he has always done this. So Hyun, he seems to sort of jump between either a hatchery before pull or a 10 pull. And the 10 pull is usually when he's going for his ling, very early ling harass with baneling accompaniment. It's actually quite awesome to see. He sends out a bunch of lings and he gets a couple of banelings mixed in there. It's quite awesome. But now he's going for his more standard play, which is the hatchery before spawning pool. Snute goes usually, I think in pretty much every game he's going for pull before hatch, but not extremely early, like Hyun has done. And he doesn't really ever go for lings unless he needs to. Unless Hyun sends lings at him, then he goes and sends some lings right back to defend his base, and does a bit of counter as well if he wins off against Hyun. But it never really goes for lings. He prefers just to push into roaches as fast as he can. And yeah, he's been doing pretty well with it in certain games. And here we go though. Hyun, he's got down the hatch and then pull, but he is still going for baneling nest. He's still going for the early harassment. He's getting it a little bit later, but that will allow him to either have more workers or just a hell of a lot more guys. And he's actually sending his queen out. Is he going to attack with the queen? That is going to take about 10 hours for the queen to get over there. I think he's just chasing overlords. So yes, overlord hunting, the queen's favourite pastime. But unfortunately she is so fat and waddles around so much that she barely ever kills anything. But I'm sure she has quite a fine day out, nonetheless, going out hunting overlords. And these two queens, man, they are going for a bit more of a spindly sort of thing to hunt after. They are going for lings. They don't have as much health, but if you are not careful, the lings can surround you and they can kill your fat ass. So they've got to be worried. And of course, banelings, you do not want to go baneling hunting if you're a queen. That is only for suicidal queens. So yes, 4 banelings coming in there. 4 more lings coming up as well. And yeah, a bunch more lings as well. You think he's got this blocked off though, but maybe not. He's sort of got it blocked off, just managed to get it. The Bailey is trying to get through this gap, and the Spine Collar manages to take out 2 of them. But the rest of the lings going around, and that is quite a lot of lings, man. If they start attacking the workers right now, they can do quite a bit of damage. Lings coming around though, and they're using the speed to their advantage. They just need to get in the middle and start attacking. But of course, if they attack while they're in the middle of that pack, they will just start attacking the lings, and that is not at all good. But he is taking out workers every time he goes in there. So yeah, great job from him. He's going to need some queen support to chase these guys away because they're just too fast for the rest of his lings. You see getting that worker down to half health and just running down again. He's going to move around to try and finish off that worker. Just some great micro there from Hyun, but he is rapidly running out of lings, and this queen is just going to make the job that much easier. How the hell did he get that baneling up there? But there it goes, right into the middle of the pack, exploding. And the rest of the red lings come in there. He might have got a couple more kills there. But, yeah, those lings will regenerate. And meanwhile, a bunch more lings coming in. They do not have speed. But, yeah, Snute already got his roach warren up. And these two banelings wiping out all those lings. So, yeah, Hyun doing a very good job. He's actually not going for a third base before a hatchery. That attack really didn't do enough to satisfy him. So he's going to put down a roach warren here. But he is going to be building a hatchery at the same time. Meanwhile, Snute has got down his third, but he had a roach warren quite a while ago. He's actually got 2 roach warrens, man. I do not know if this is a mistake or if he is just being ultra cautious and does not want the same thing to happen that happened a few games ago. I believe it was a few games ago, not last game, but yeah, his roach warren actually got destroyed. I think it may have been game 2, I believe. Yeah, he was ahead. He was doing well, but his roach warren got destroyed and it delayed the amount of roaches that he could have built, and I think he lost the game because of that. So he definitely does not want that to happen again. But meanwhile, Hyun, man, is he going for the roach speed? He's going for the attack, but right now he is going for all sorts of other awesome stuff, continuing to pressure with the lings. But that is going to be pretty much all over now since the roaches are out, because roaches just eat zerglings for breakfast, man, and probably a few other meals as well. But these lings do not seem to know about that. They are going to be ambushing a queen who went out overseer hunting, and overseers, man, a very, very nice trophy to hang on your wall. But unfortunately, they can call on ling reinforcements if they are getting attacked, and the queen found that out to her peril. And this ling attack, man, this is not just to keep Snute back, to keep him pressured back to not attack his third. This is really going out there and really doing some damage. That's 2 queens now that Hyun has sniped off, and he's really doing an awesome job. But this is when Snute is going to shine. He's got the 20 roaches up, and Hyun is going to be in a bit of trouble here. He's getting out a bunch more roaches, but he is going for infestors, and we have seen infestors go against roaches previous games. It does not work out that well for the infestors. The fungal just does not do enough damage to the roaches to wipe them out. It does a little bit, it helps a little bit, but whether or not it actually does enough, I would say no. I would say it's not worth it. But Hyun, man, he is not just going to pinning all his hopes on the infestors. He is building a crap ton of roaches. And I guess the infestors maybe just to stop the roaches from moving around too much, from retreating, because once the fungal growth goes down on them, I mean, they can't move anymore. So yes, not too good to be a roach when you're surrounded by fungals. You don't lose that much health, but you can't retreat. And what have we got going on here? Level 2 weapons, a bit faster for Snute. So I think in terms of the army, he's still, yeah, he's doing alright, but Hyun is really, really knocking up those roach numbers. And he's actually behind on workers, so I don't know what the hell Snute is doing right here. He's really pushing ahead on the roach numbers. I think he will surpass Hyun very, very soon. We can see he's already ahead, and he's building 11 more, man. So give him another couple of minutes and he is going to have the overwhelming force. Would not be surprised to see him wait for 2 weapons though before going in for another attack. And yeah, Hyun, man, he just lost an overlord. Queen's taking a trophy home, and he is not going to be happy. He's getting a lot of infestors, but really, I mean, infestors are good, but I do not know if he can beat this massive roach army that Snute is amassing. I really don't. I mean, look at that, 15 roaches at once, man. He is going to be completely off the chain by the time he goes in there. He's going to have like a 20 roach advantage at least, 31 to 49, yeah. And Hyun has 3 infestors. I think he's building 2 more, but I do not see Hyun winning this game, man. I mean, the only way to counter roaches is with more roaches, and if your opponent has more economy than you do, and they have more roaches than you do, then I don't think there is a counter in the world that can save you. Maybe hydras? Maybe? I don't know. I mean, these players have got to know better than I do what is a good counter versus roaches, and the fact that he's going for infestors and not hydras, yeah, I do not know. I really don't. But the massive roach army coming in here, doing a lot of damage. The infestors barely getting away, but they're not going to have much to hide behind in a sec. Infested Terrans coming up, but they're not going to do too much. And just massive amounts of roaches everywhere. I think Hyun has pretty much lost this game at this point. And this is pretty much the same as the previous game. He lost that one as well. Pretty much the same way, although Snute did get pushed off a little bit, but he came back with just a massive army. Hyun choosing to try and counter with the infestors instead of with a larger amount of roaches, and that just did not work. And look at me, man. I'm talking like Snute's already won the game and his army just got wiped out. So yes, I do not know. He's still going to have a lot better roach numbers, and I believe he's going to have the upgrade advantage. Where's my upgrades? Yeah, maybe he's got to wait for one armor. Hyun going for one armor, but that's quite delayed, quite late, as opposed to Snute's armor. And yes, Snute is going to go in here. He's got a nice large army. He's back up to 40 over 25. He's going to keep pushing in. The infestors did help last time. I did not know if they're going to help this time. He has got a few more out there, and he's going to give it a try. He may be able to pull off another win here. In fact, I think I don't know, man. Look, this is exactly the same battle happening again. And last time, Hyun managed to pull out a win. And I think he might be able to pull one out again. These roaches going down quite a bit. I think Snute still has more roaches though. He still has a better army. But reinforcements coming out as they did last time. And it's so close, man. It's so very, very, very close. Snute, I think Snute might just be able to. No, I think Hyun still got it. I think Hyun still has the defense. But here we go. The reinforcements coming in for Snute, man. And that is going to help quite a lot. Roaches coming in, they're putting in a nice pincer, but Snute has enough to face both sides of them. And yeah, it's all going to come down to who can get the most reinforcements out. Snute is getting chased away here. We have a look, he's still 27 up to 15, but a lot of them are in transit. And they are going to fall back for now. Yeah, I don't think Snute was losing there, but I don't think he was winning either. Maybe he's just going to max out on roaches and just completely go in there and just say, you know what, I'm going to get an absolutely massive army and just completely wipe him off the face of the earth. And I really think that is what he's going to do here. He is not teching up to do anything crazy. He is just going for broke, going for a massive amount of roaches. And yeah, here come the hydras out for Hyun, man. So he's finally getting some I don't know if I'd say they're good counters for roaches. I mean, roaches don't actually do bonus damage to armored, but they are armored targets. So yes, yeah, the hydras don't do an exceptionally large amount of damage to them, but hydras are still going to do more damage than roaches. And yes, if he gets a lot of roaches like he did when Snute got mutas, then I think he is going to be in a very, very good position. But yeah, look at this, man. Snute out-arming him by about 30 supply. And it's all going to come down to this battle. Well, maybe not, maybe not. I think Hyun might have this one. The Hydra's doing an extremely good job. The Fungal is doing an extremely good job. And yeah, those Hydras, man, really doing a good job. But the Roaches are going to continue to push in. And somehow he's cut off the flanks. He's moved in. He's got an awesome army. I thought he was losing because all his units were at such low health. But look at this, man. He's got like 20 Roaches left. More than half of them have got absolutely no health left. But he's got the ones with a lot of health out in the front. Ones with no health out in the back. Hyun might be able to whittle them down. He's certainly killing a lot of them, but there are quite a lot of them still with a lot of health. And these infestors, man, they just got nothing left, so they are going down. Infested Terrans wiping them out so quickly, though. But how many drones are going to get killed by this attack, man? That is the question. And some reinforcements from Snute just coming up here and said, hey, you barely won, but I had reinforcements already built, so there you go. And continuing to push the Roaches, man. And I gotta say, man, what can possibly beat the continuous roach push? Because you get roaches, and your opponent barely beats you off, and then you get more roaches. And what the hell is your opponent supposed to do now? There's no higher tech options which you can really go against in roaches. I mean, if you're a Protoss, you get a robo facility, you start getting some immortals. If you're a Terran player, you start chunking up on a lot of marauders, or you get tanks. Roaches, what? I mean, Zerg, what the hell do you do? Hydras, they're good, but in terms of gas, they cost twice as much as the roaches, and I don't think they do twice as well as a roach. I mean, they're so fragile. They need such a ballsy sort of group in front of them. And yeah, the roaches have so much health, so the hydras I don't think are the answer. A lot of players have tried infestors. I don't think they're the answer either. Yeah, I do not know. Players have tried swarm hosts, but swarm hosts, they take so long to get up, and roaches, they can get in there pretty much any time. You can get a massive amount of roaches and just send them out there at around the 15-20 minute mark of the game, and just whoosh, just build up a massive army of roaches, send them in, because they're so cheap, man. I mean, 25 gas, 75 minerals, that's absolutely nothing when you've got 3 bases going full tilt. Yeah, I really can't think what's a good counter except other roaches. And that's what we've seen. The majority of games, when somebody's going massive roaches time and time again, the only way the other player beats them is by going roaches and just doing a better job at getting their base up or getting their roach warren up. And ZVZ, man, it's all coming down to the roaches time and time again. This is the 3rd ZVZ matchup I've done in this tournament. And yeah, we're going to have to see exactly how it goes. Yeah, and the grand final may actually be a ZVZ as well, so I would be looking forward to that. I would say I'm going to be completely honest here. I would prefer Teja to be in the grand final, because ZVZ, it's a very interesting matchup at the low level, at the micro level, at the minuscule level. But you very rarely get to see Broodlords or Ultralisks or massive Colossus or Battle Cruisers in a ZVZ. Mostly because Terran and Protoss aren't in the match, but mostly because it's finished in like 20 minutes. It's very, very rare. In fact, I don't think I've seen one in this tournament so far to see a very, very long ZVZ game. And if I can find one, I will try and find one. But in a tournament series with so much on the line, man, players don't like to go for the massive end-all, you go for ultras and I'll go for broodlord sort of approach. They prefer to get something that they know will win them the game. And roaches, man, roaches in Zerg, I'm going to say that roaches are OP. I know you can't really say they're OP because both players have roaches, so it's not unfair OP, but it's just straight up OP. And there we go. We are going to see exactly what happens. And yeah, all I gotta say is go Teja, man, because I would love to see a TVZ in the grand final. Best of 7, man. I love you, ZVZ. I love you, Hyun. I love you, Snute. But I'm going to be honest, I do not want to cast a grand final ZVZ, because ZVZs, they are awesome, but yeah, I've had quite a lot of them, and yes, I'd like to try something different. And we are going to try something different in the semi-final. It's going to be TLO versus Teja, TVZ. So get ready to break out the Thors, break out the battle cruisers, because yeah, those are Terran units, and we will be casting a Terran player. And I will catch you guys then. And yes, congratulations to Snute. He is going to be moving on to the grand final. And Hyun is going to be moving on to the 3rd place match. We do have the 3rd place match casting here. And yeah, that's going to be interesting as well. So regardless of whether Teja wins or loses, we will be casting a TVZ. It'll be either the grand final or the 3rd place, in addition to the semi-final coming up. So yeah, I'll catch you guys then. If you like these games, please feel free to subscribe. It does make me a very happy camper. And I'll catch you guys later.